Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining us here in the newsroom. I am Hwang Ji-hye. Now, it certainly was a week filled with news out of North Korea, with escalating war of wars between the two Koreas reaching new heights. Reporters here at Arirang News have been keeping themselves very busy with all the latest and had a chance to talk to some of our reporters on the stories they've been covering throughout this week. So let's go and meet them. In the newsroom begins right now. Good afternoon, guys.
Hello. Hey, Jay.
Right. It was supposed to be a full house today, but unfortunately, our producers told us in the last minute, Defense Ministry correspondent Han Dang couldn't be here with us because there was an urgent briefing session at the ministry. So, unfortunately,
a lot going on there.
A lot, indeed, yes, and she's getting things done there. A lot of the information flowing in and out from North Korea, from the South Korean government as well. But it was not only our talent and our ministry correspondents who were really busy, but also our reporters here who've been keeping track of the responses from Beijing and Washington and other member nations of the six-party talks. And I know, Hyunbin, you've been
yes,
keeping track
I
of that
have.
as well.
Yeah, I have dealt with a couple of B-rolls and some packages about North Korea and their, how they're gonna say they're gonna nullify the ceasefire agreement, armistice agreement, another word. But how I see it is that it's been ongoing, but this was a big threat compared to others because they did what they said they were going to do. They nullified and they severed the phone lines and the Panmunjom, which is in the borderline.
Right. I think all of us inside the office have been keeping up to date with all the reaction pouring in from different international countries and even just here nationally, locally. I was surprised that Koreans are they are surprised by the reactions from North Korea, but then again, Koreans are very used to these kinds of threats, so it's nothing new, right?
It is. Certainly, none of this is unprecedented. The danger of unintended consequences is rising, I believe, this time around. And I guess the question is, is North Korean leader Kim Jong-un trying to prove something, or is this just another saber rattling? So, right, we really need to keep a close tab on that as well. But Ji-hye, I know you look a bit jittery there. I know you got to be leaving in about 15 minutes or so.
Right.
You're preparing for a story right now.
Right.
So tell us what it is.
For today, actually, and it's tomorrow. Actually, the day marks the the 1-year anniversary of the free trade deal that Korea had went into effect with the United States.
Right, so how would you describe the impact of KORUS FTA on overall Korean trade?
Korea's exports to the U.S. have risen to nearly $54 billion since March last year, and an increase of more than 2.5% from the same period a year earlier. This is a huge jump since the nation's total export volume fell 1.5% amid the sluggish global economy. Imports of U.S. products, however, have dropped more than 7%, while Korea's total import volume fell less than 3%. That's given Korea a trade surplus of almost $15 billion, an increase of 44%. It's no surprise then that a survey by the Korea Chamber of Commerce and Industry shows that the majority of Korean exporters doing business with the USA that they have benefited from the bilateral trade deal.
So you had a chance to talk to some of the representatives of the companies that actually benefited from this trade deal. What are they saying?
So one of the industries that benefited from the most from the free trade deal was the auto parts industry and also some automobile, et cetera, et cetera. But the company that I met was an exporter who also says that his company has also like seen some opportunities thanks to the free trade deal, and and I was surprised to see how this deal that really consumers don't feel anything about, right? And also that was one of the challenges that Korea faces, because consumers really don't feel the price, the drop due to the free
As
trade deal.
expected, right?
Yeah, because the effect will go on in a 10-year time span. So it's like the tariff cut will be done in like up to 10 years, so we don't really feel it right away, but that's also one of the challenges, because the government like over advertise the impacts of the free trade deal.
The benefits.
Right, the benefits. 안녕하세요. 주로 뭐 하시는 거예요? 국제
국제 통상하고요.
영어 인터뷰도 가능하세요? 이건? 알겠습니다. 이제 금요일에 한미 FTA 발효 1주년인데 지난 1년을 어떻게 평가하시는지 궁금해요.
작년 3월 15일 날 한미 FTA가 발효가 됐는데도 이제 1년이 된 것 같습니다. 작년에는 전 세계적으로 글로벌 경제 위기가 있었고 주요 미국이나
체리는 없는 것 같아요. 체리는 없는 것 같아요. 없는 것 같아요. 관세 탈퇴됐는데도 별로 가격 안 내리는 거 몇 개 있거든요. 맥주랑 그것만. 괜찮아요. 마이크를 따로 가니까요. 그냥 간단하게 그때 유선상으로 해주셨던 말씀 해주시면 돼요. 그 한미 FTA가 발효되고 나서 이제 약간 조금 뭐 일하기가 수월하다 이런 게 있나요?
물론 많은 부분에서 FTA를 통해서 그 매출이 늘어나는 부분도 있고요. 또 작년부터 직접 디자인해서 한국에 수출하고 있는 회사입니다.
대표님 감사합니다.
끝이요?
네?
끝이요?
네.
아주 간단한 거.
저희 여기 조금만 스케치하고. 감사합니다. 네.
There are companies that are actually struggling.
Majority say they feel the opportunity coming because of the free trade deal, but some say that we really don't feel the benefits of the free trade deal, or they say that we still we really don't know what to do in order to benefit from the free trade deal. They want more government support, so that they can really utilize like 100% free trade deals. So yeah, and I'm also meeting the
very man who is responsible and was in charge of this historic deal.
I know, the Kim Jong-hoon. He's currently a lawmaker at Saenuri Party, but he, as you said, he used to be the most important figure back then when we were having years of hard negotiations to implement the free trade deal. So I'm really trying to have some insight from him of what we need to do from now on, and also what we since like many other countries, not just Korea, it's also Japan, Europe, the United States, trying to have their own free trade deals. So I really want some insight from him.
I think it would be fascinating to hear the behind-the-scenes story.
Yes, that as well.
The struggles and the triumphs of what went behind the negotiating, table and stuff like that.
Sounds like a really good interview.
Yeah,
I'm glad you got that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so Ji-hye, we wish you good
Yes.
luck. I guess we need to let you go.
Yeah, I know. I have an interview in like 10 minutes, so I'll leave you guys here and
Do some makeup. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
홍재입니다. 네네네. 내려오시면 1층으로 오시면 네, 안녕하세요. 좋으신데 여기까지 오느라 감사합니다. 네네. 네, 이쪽으로 오시면 돼요. 마이크.
예. 숫자도 있고.
네. So I guess we have to start off with talking about how was it like back then when you went through like hard negotiations for years. How was it like then back when you were in the table, at the table?
Well, everything has look beautiful. So even we have to look for
The rate is
ways to
slightly less than
build up their capacity.
Spread information to Korean
So the
businesses,
people
especially
circumstances
small and medium-sized ones. He also
our
said the
bilateral
government has a few
trade
remaining
vis-a-vis
issues to talk
United
about with
States
the
is
U.S.
not
One of
that bad. Because rules of origin.
So thank you for the interview very much. Well, it was a great pleasure to have you here. 네, 끝났습니다.
Alright, so I don't know if this is good news or bad, whether we should be glad or sad, but Connie and Chisun, you guys will be joining the Korea Today as regular guests now. It's a new experience for you, although we'll be seeing less of you here in the newsroom. How are you feeling?
It's exciting. I mean, we have to wake up a little bit earlier for that show, for that live morning news show. But yes, Ji-sun and I would be reporting regularly for Korea Today.
What was your first story about?
My first story was a feature, a profile actually, of a very interesting Korean man who lives here, and he's actually a former pro snowboarder. He used to be on the Korean national team, and he kind of switched in his snowboards for some cameras, and so now he runs this very medium-sized video production agency that is booming right now, and it's doing really well. And I thought it was really interesting. It was hard for me to kind of go from reporting on the very hard news and serious issues to something very light and feature-like. But I did have a really good time, actually. 첫 KT 출연이거든요.
그럼 없자지.
Hello. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Hi. 거든요. 그래서 기자들 뭐 취재나 가져오고 작업하는 모습, 근데 뭐 대화하고 그냥 자연스러운 모습. GDW에도 설명 좀 해주세요.
마음이 생기는 게 더 좋거든요.
뭐 하는 거 있어요? 아니면 뭐 어디 가든지.
30대 늦으면 40대 여러 가지 이제 세대별 남녀노소 불문하고 다 같이 즐길 수 있는 공간.
어떤 모습이 나왔으면 좋겠어요?
사실 10년 후에도 계속 일을 하고 싶어요. 많은 사람들과 이제 소통할 수 있는 그런 영상을 만드는 게 제일 목표인 것 같고.
감사합니다.
그리고 옛날에 그냥 집에서 쓰던 카메라들은 그냥 나중에 우리나라 스케이터들 다 사진 찍어갖고 이렇게 책으로 주고. 짧은 다큐멘터리도 있고 그다음에 커머셜도 있고.
Live their had a profession, gave it all up.
His injury kind
Well,
of
he turned his
him,
up.
the cliche or the say another sentence on kind of like this idea and how he wants to inspire other people. Snowboarder, he turned in his board.
Good morning and welcome to Korea Today. I'm Young Kim.
And I'm Kim Jong. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, of course, every day, every morning. And I'm here to show you how this man is reaching for his dreams. Now, not just for his own good, but also for the good of the younger generation in Korea. Filming videos for Olympic gold medalist Kim Jong-hoon and capturing the moves of the world's best breakdancers to shooting commercials for the nation's biggest companies. One video production agency does it all with this 29-year-old at the helm. Skateboarding around his GDW office, Kim Jong-hoon checks in on his company's latest projects. He's just as comfortable on this set of wheels as he is with the camera. Not surprising for a former pro snowboarder who was once part of Korea's national team. Not before long, however, a serious knee injury cut his snowboarding career short. But instead of resigning himself to the sidelines, Kim decided to stay in the action and grabbed a camera. Right, well, he never knew that filmmaking would become his full-time career, but after picking up a camera, he really enjoyed it. Awesome.
And how did this idea come about? Why him in particular?
So I was looking through different stories and different issues, trying to come up with some kind of feature, maybe uplifting story. And especially these days, you hear about very low youth employment numbers. And concerning him, he's not even 30 yet, but he has a successful company of his own that he set up. And of course, he had the talent and maybe a few luck here and there, but he was able to kind of cultivate his very own, company. And so I thought it was very inspiring for other people, and especially younger people who only sees, one pathway or one road as to what could be their career, to kind of, expand their thinking and look into other options too. And it doesn't have to be, on the artistic or creative side, but there could be other things that they are probably neglecting or things that they've never thought of before.
Yeah, Connie, I think it's quite a timely story because just yesterday we had jobs figures released. It was the very first time since President Park Geun-hye's that she took office, and it didn't seem too rosy. And you just mentioned how youth unemployment is it's really bad. It's a dismal figure. So yeah, those kind of uplifting stories maybe could give sort of an idea or an inspiration for young people.
Right. It's basically just an uplifting, encouraging story. Someone that it's not your average 29-year-old Korean man. And so I had fun.
Well, what's your next story then? Are you preparing for another uplifting story?
To be determined.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll have to keep it under wraps. But for now, I think you can look forward to longer segments and more in-depth look into different issues.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to it, Connie, and of course our Ji-sun as well, though she's not here. So let's be sure to we're gonna make sure that we tune in more often to Korea Today.
Yeah.
Maybe we could give you more of a constructive criticism.
Yeah,
or
feedback, any feedback, yeah.
Lovely. Okay. I've been sorry for the wait, but I'm sure you've been dying to tell us about this intriguing story that you did this week. What's it about?
Okay, how many people own a smartphone here?
Smartphone.
Yes.
I think everyone on this floor.
Everyone on this floor, right? And Korean people in general, 67% own a smartphone in Korea. There's only one smart hotel in Seoul, and that was the first smart hotel that was established in not just Korea, but in the world. So they had different other hotels had different features about having logs and all that. But this they had the full package. They had everything that one needs in a smartphone. And it's an application. From the outside, this looks like your everyday run-of-the-mill hotel, but it's far from ordinary. This hotel in downtown Seoul is what's referred to as a smart hotel, a distinction earned after inventing the world's first application that could resolve the needs of hotel guests at the push of a finger.
이런 상태를 보게 되시면 되거든요. 이렇게 되는데요. 키인을 누르면 기본적으로 조명이나 이런 것도 다 켜져요.
아,
깜빡깜빡 다 켜지게 됩니다. 제가 이따가 올라가서 한번 시연을 해드릴게요.
So that's the very first hotel. Did you get to go anywhere else that actually use these smart gadgets?
Other gadgets, just hotels, just that one. But I went to, well, like Hyundai and Kia has a similar thing where you have a cell phone, your cell phone, and you could start your car, unlock and unlock, set the temperature as well. I thought that was pretty interesting. Before they had a remote, they had a keychain where you press, you could start your car, but here you could do it with your cell phone, and you can unlock your car with that too. So that was pretty interesting. And the other place I went to was a hospital, and this is going to be the first smart hospital in the world too, but it hasn't opened up yet. They do regular businesses, but the smart part didn't open, the smart technology. So they'll open up late April. This is in Pundang, yes, in Gyeonggi Province.
So hotels, hospitals, even car locks, and I'm sure this is going to expand to like schools and factories as well.
Definitely.
Right, so besides the fact that Korea is one of the most wired nations in the world, and what are other reasons behind this emerging trend?
Well, Korea, is the IT hub. It's the IT capital of the world, I could frankly say. But and that's why they're developing, once the smartphone came out, they started thinking about new ideas, how to approach this, how to use the smartphone in like companies and stuff like that. So now they're putting that into effect. And right now just, hotels, a few other places, and they're going into businesses too. They're doing like a smart technology where you could see all your info and stuff like that on your cell phone. And they could control certain aspects of the company just with their cell phone. So you don't have to be present at the company. For some, yes.
We're all going to be so tech savvy now.
It is.
You have to be.
So, with President Park Geun-hye, she's pushing for this so-called creative economy, which is really defined by the convergence of technology and science. So I guess we'll be seeing more of these institutions and buildings, making use of these innovative gadgets and applications.
I think most companies will have it later on in a couple of years. I think they'll all have it installed within their program.
Quite promising. Thank you very much. We've covered quite a number of stories today, although we were missing Ji-hye and Dan. We did touch upon a lot of the topics. So, again, thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you guys back here next week. Hopefully, Connie, we'll see more of you soon.
Yes. Yes.
맞아.